So the next thing I want to do is take this flywheel off. Now this can be a pain to do. There's a few ways to do it. There's a few tools that you can have. I'll be honest, I don't have them. So I'm going to do it not as by the book as it could be. So I'm going to take that spark plug boot off, and it's not the right size. Hopefully I have this. Oh, it's not quite big enough. Oh, there is some. It's I'll tell you, a 14mm, and you need a fairly deep socket. It's it's the largest of the normal spark plug sizes. That's 3/8. Get that on there. There you go. So here's our spark plug. Thread that in. You can see that there's some carbon deposits. Looks pretty good there. So that's our spark plug. And the issue with trying to take this flywheel off, and the reason why I'm taking the spark plug out, is because if I put this socket on the top and I try and loosen it, you can see that all that happens is it turns. Okay, so what we can think is that this flywheel is basically connected to, it turns the engine over. So by turning the engine over, what I mean is that the pistons are going up and down. Okay, so one way to stop the flywheel from turning is to block up part of the cylinder, and that's going to mean that the piston is going to push against this rope in this case, and hopefully prevent this from turning, which means I can get the bolt off. So we'll see how easy it goes. It's not always the easiest thing to do, but basically the premise is just stuff something down there, ideally a bit of rope normally, to the point where this flywheel is not going to spin because the piston is stuck on this bit of string. So I'm going to stuff it into the spark plug hole there, and I'll be back with you. Right, so as you can see, I've got this stuffed in the plug, and then if you turn this wheel, you can see that it's not going anymore, and that's because the piston is got the edge of the wall like this, and then I put the string so it's going along here, and the piston has to keep going all the way up to here so it'll return to its next cycle. So because I got that bit of string there, it's not going to get. So see if it turns. There you go. Caught my hand on a bit of metal, but I think that's gone. There you go. And also I didn't say before is that put a bit of penetrating oil as well on there before, just to help you along. So let's fully take this up. I'll put a small extension. We won't bother with that. Take it off. So you can see that bolt comes off. We are not there yet though, because these flywheels sure do get stuck on. So there's a couple ways that you can actually sorry, I'll take this string out now. That's all it needed. So you can have certain like flywheel holders so they don't move, certain other methods, but it seems to work most of the time for me. Get the nut off. Now we have to pull the actual flywheel off, which can be quite well stuck on. Right, so once you got this bolt loose, you see, we got this bolt loose, we want to take the flywheel off. Now I have already taken the flywheel off, but that's because I couldn't film it because it used both my hands, so I'm sorry about that, but I'll show you how I did it and how you can do it. So you want to take this bolt, this flywheel's stuck on, you want to take this bolt and actually thread it back on. You want to thread that back on until the threaded bolt and the nut is flush. You can see there, it's flush. Now what you're going to do after that, there's going to be a gap, because that's flush, there's going to be a gap in between so the flywheel actually has room to come off. So next what you're going to do is get a get a crowbar or a pry bar and get it up behind the flywheel on a thick part of the flywheel, and then you're just going to put some tension on that there, and then with a solid hammer just take a whack at the middle, just one hard blow hopefully should do it. It took this one a couple, but most flywheels will come off in one solid blow, and what that's going to do is send a vibration through here and loosen up the flywheel, and because you got tension, you got pressure on it, it's just going to come right off, and then you're going to be able to take this bolt off. And then your flywheel should just come straight off. So that's what it looks like. You can see. That's our flywheel. So after you've done this, then there should be this little keyway that you don't want to lose. Can't actually get it out. Should come out. It's just well machined in. There you go. So you have this keyway. Now this is a interesting design, and it's basically on all crankshafts, and what it is this little pin slots in to that groove in the flywheel there. Now what that does is that locks the flywheel onto the crankshaft. However, this isn't machined straight into the crankshaft, because this is actually a part that is designed to fail. So this is the point of failure if something goes wrong, like there's a big impact on the crankshaft, or something else happens, then this will actually shear off this keyway, and what that's going to do is disconnect your flywheel and hopefully just stop everything, stop the engine from turning over. So that's an interesting design that they do to for safety. And you can see here, I think you can see, I don't know, it might be hard to see, but this is a tapered crankshaft, and that's basically what all these small mower engines have. So it's thinner at the top and thicker at the bottom. That means that as you press it on there, then it's going to get tighter as it goes further, and that's why they get stuck on pretty badly. The only other thing that we can see here is this is our main oil seal, and that stops oil from getting out of the crankcase, because all behind this seal there's oil just being like pumped around to keep all those parts lubricated. So this main seal prevents any oil leaking out. And yeah, that's about it for this. Now I've got the job of trying to take the other side off, this blade attachment, or blade adapter, sorry. There isn't many parts to pull it from, so I'm going to think of a plan and I'll be back with you. So sorry about this, guys, but I couldn't film this again. Taking this off in real time, honestly, it was a terrible process. So completely stuck on, but we get there in the end. So this is the other side. This is the side where the blade is attached, and also the pulleys and guide pulleys for the belt to go round that drives the self-propelling system. So you can see here, this is our crankshaft, and it actually has two keyways here. So if I just take this one out, there's one keyway back here, and that keyway is for these guide pulleys. So I don't know if you can see that, but there's your slot. And if I, oh, it came out. But anyway, if you line it up, it was slot on here, and then where else have I got them? I don't know where I'd put my other pulley. Anyway, the other side of the cup goes on there, and then your belt will be driven around there. And then here's your blade adapter. So this also has, you can see that keyway, and that keyway slots on here as well. This is such a tight fit, honestly. I reckon there's some corrosion on the shaft here, and because these are two different types of metal, they just welded themselves on basically. What I would normally do with a blade adapter is I'll put a picture on screen what they usually look like. They're a flat plate coming back here, and you can grip onto the back part of the plate and rip it off. Normally you would simply just use like a jaw puller, put the arms straight over, and then pull it out like that. So I couldn't do that because you can see that there's nothing to actually grip onto. I mean, it's like a streamlined shaft, so I couldn't do that. So my only option was, this was on here, and was to get a long nut and just put it in there and just go to town hammering it away. And eventually, with the weight of this that didn't want to move and the inertia, it just popped it straight off. Took a fair few hammers though, and honestly, I would not recommend trying to take one of these off if either it's old or yeah, it's not coming off easily. But yeah, that was a pain, but it's off. So we can move on to the next bits. You can see I've got the crankshaft, the actual crankshaft exposed here, and the crankshaft on the other side. That's where we took the flywheel off. So now we've got those off, the crankshaft is actually free, and we can start getting into the guts of the engine down in it. So that's what we're going to do.